As today's video, I wanted to talk about the Boston 2020 Marathon. It's the John Hancock Marathon in Boston, Massachusetts. It's going to be a great race this year. It always is. I actually watched the Boston Marathon with my wife, who ran it in 2008 in a personal best of 3 hours, 23 minutes, and 11 seconds. So I know it's a great race. It's a net downhill course, so it's similar to the California International Marathon, only it's even more of a net downhill course. But that being said, the fact that it's a net downhill course does not make it any easier. It's more difficult actually because there's a lot of rolling hills, there's net downhills, there's flat sections, so you have to do a lot of different things right. So when it comes to the Boston 2020 Marathon, you have to really go in knowing that you've trained sufficiently at your goal pace, below your goal pace. What I wanted to do in this video is to provide about 11 different tips for you that will help you get a new personal best in Boston, is to run faster than the standard. You know, as you already know, there's specific standards for each age group, but the faster that you can run for your particular age group, the quicker you're going to be able to register for the race. So if it's 10 minutes or more, you'll be able to register by day 3. If it's 5 minutes or more, the time standard for your age group, you'll be able to register on day 4. And then if you've qualified by running less than 5 minutes faster than the time standard for your chosen age group, you'll be able to register for the week of the race. So the faster you can run faster than the time standard for your age group, the better. So make sure you train as sufficiently as you possibly can for the Boston 2020 Marathon. Make sure that you're training sufficiently at goal pace and below goal pace, like we talk about in other videos that I've created here on the RunDreamAchieve YouTube channel. If you're brand new to the channel, my name's Nate Pennington. I'm the founder of RunDreamAchieve.com. I'm a 2:19 marathoner. I've never run the Boston Marathon, but I do know the background of that race. It's one of the greatest races in the world, one of the most challenging courses in the world too. The fact that like I said, there's a lot of rolling hills. There's uphills, downhills, flat sections, and you got to prepare yourself for all of those types of terrain in training first. If you do that, you're going to set yourself up for success. The number 2 tip I want to share with you is to find a fast course to get your Boston qualifier. There's numerous marathons all around the world. My top picks are Chicago, Rotterdam, Paris, Berlin. These are races that are all great flat courses that will help you get that fast time you're looking for. Now granted, we're in February, so this particular video may be better for you leading into the 2021 Boston Marathon, but for this particular race, maybe you've already gotten your Boston qualifier and you're preparing right now for the Boston 2020 Marathon. But if you've not earned a Boston qualifier, make sure you get on a flat, fast course. You know, granted, no course, and I say this with a grain of salt here, there's no fast course. It's a fast, highly prepared athlete that's going to get on a fast course that's going to run a great time and is going to set a new personal best and get that Boston qualifier that you're looking for. Number 3 tip, train at race pace. You've got to improve your body's lactate tolerance. That's the number 1 goal if you're trying to run a specific time over a specific distance, especially the Boston Marathon. You're going to have a lot of undulations on that course. You got Heartbreak Hill, you got flat sections, you got downhill sections. So if you're training below the goal pace that you're trying to race at, you're improving your body's lactate tolerance. You're teaching the body to clear that lactic acid faster than it's building up. That way you run more efficiently, more economically over the entire distance and not just a portion of the distance. So that's very, very critical. I continue to harp on that here on the RunDreamAchieve YouTube channel. If you're brand new here, definitely subscribe, hit the bell icon, give me a thumbs up. Any comments you leave here, I will definitely respond to each and every one of those. I get a lot of feedback from not only the videos, but specific questions that people that come here have, and I always aim to either make a video on that or always comment back on that. So if there's something I'm not covering in this video, make sure you let me know, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Number 4 tip, when you're training for the Boston 2020 Marathon, as you lead into April, make sure you are slowing down on your recovery days. because your hard days, as you already know, are going to be extremely difficult. You're going to be doing those hard anaerobic workouts on the track. You're going to be doing those tempo runs, those hill repetitions, those long runs. You have got to be able to slow down and have that same discipline on your easy days as you have on your hard days. All of the benefits that you're doing from your hard training come within the rest. I want you to Google, and I'll make sure that I put this on the screen as well. Google super compensation. Most athletes do not know anything about it, and I want you to make sure you read up on that and understand how critical and important running slow on your recovery days is. I ran a 2:19 marathon, broke the 2:20 marathon barrier because I slowed down on my easy days, and I listened to and followed the advice that I'm sharing on this video. I'm also going to be leaving some resources at the bottom of this video in the description, so make sure you check that out as well. There are resources on RunDreamAchieve.com, which is another tip I'm sharing with you now as you lead into Boston or any other race here in 2020. There are running courses I've created. I'll leave a link to here on the video. I've created courses for athletes that are training for the marathon to either break a 4-hour marathon, a 3-hour marathon, and even a 2:30 marathon. So if that's you, I want you to definitely check out RunDreamAchieve.com, click on courses or the link on this video, and that will give you some more information. And definitely check out the description of this video as well. So definitely slow down. You want to be able to recover from those hard efforts so that you can continue to push hard. You cannot continue to push the body over and over hard over and over again and expect a return on your investment. It's not going to happen. So it's very critical that you slow down, recover on your easy days so that you get the best bang for your buck on in terms of your training. So you want to also, one last thing is, you want, in terms of running slow on your easy days, you want to be running around 75 to 76% of your maximum heart rate. So it's very slow, anywhere from like 130 to 150 beats per minute on your easy days. Number 5 tip is strength training. Make sure you're in the gym. You don't need to get in the gym and lift heavy weights. I would recommend doing 2 workouts per week. Focus on strengthening your core muscles and your running muscles. So upper body strength, push-ups, sit-ups, medicine ball drills where you're throwing the medicine ball up against the wall. That'll strengthen your abdomen, your abdominal muscles. That'll be very, very important in terms of maintaining your posture when you're running. You want to stay strong, you want to stay relaxed, and being able to do that strength training on top of your weekly training is going to make you so much more prepared. You want to have strong muscles. You want to be able to maintain your posture at race pace. That's very, very important. Another tip I want to share with you is to extend the distance and time you're spending at your anaerobic threshold. So our tempo runs, the lactate tolerance runs, AT runs, anaerobic threshold. You want to train at that pace and at that effort for long periods of time. I would recommend, if you're training for the Boston 2020 marathon or Berlin marathon, that you start off early, as you're not going to be very fit right off the bat. So anywhere from 2 miles to 3 miles in distance early on, and then over a 16-week block of training, which is what I recommend for a marathon. 4 months is sufficient time for you to train. All of my training programs on RunDreamAchieve.com are all 16-week training programs built specifically for athletes that are trying to run under a specific time. So extending the amount of distance and duration of your tempo runs, if you can branch that out to anywhere starting off between 2 and 3 miles early on when you're not very fit, and then extending it out to around 12 to 14 miles when you're very fit, and then you start dropping your mileage and your volume, which we'll discuss here in a second, you're going to go into that. You're going to go into the Boston 2020 marathon in phenomenal shape, because you've spent long, sufficient time training at that anaerobic threshold, which is right around the effort and the heart rate that we race at. So a lot of athletes, the reason why they're having issues with the marathon a lot of times is they'll be at goal race pace for like 13 to 14 miles, and then they start slowing down. So you have to extend the amount of distance you're running at that anaerobic threshold to improve your lactate tolerance, teach your body to clear lactic acid faster than it's building up, and to conserve carbohydrate so that you have that storage, that glycogen storage in the latter stages of your marathon. So that's very important tip. And it won't be easy. It will not be easy. Extending your tempo run, even early on when you're not very fit, to do a 2 or 3 mile tempo run when you're not very fit is very challenging, very difficult. Even when you're fit, will take a lot of focus. You will have to be very strong mentally to handle that. But I guarantee you, once you start to drop your volume and your hard, intensive, aggressive workouts, you're going to set a new personal best in Boston or any other course or any other race you're trying to prepare for. The next tip I want to share with you is to train over hills. This is a course where there are a lot of hills. You have Heartbreak Hill, you have other hills on that course where you're going to have to be able to react to the undulation on the course. There are going to be athletes that have trained on the hills, that have trained on the flat. But if you've trained on hills, you're going to have that mixture of sprinting up the hills and slowing down, and sprinting up and slowing down. You want that. You don't want to just train on flat surfaces, flat terrains for this particular marathon. I would recommend doing even one of your long runs. If you can do one of your long runs over hills, that would be outstanding leading into the Boston 2020 Marathon. So definitely train over the hills. That'll make you very, very strong anaerobically, because you're not just running on a steady flat surface. So you definitely want to train on hills, because there are a lot of hills on the Boston Marathon. The next tip I want to share with you is to vary the paces of your long run. Don't just run long and slow every single weekend. One of the biggest reasons why I was able to run to improve my marathon time from 2 hours 43 minutes and 36 seconds to 2 hours 19 minutes and 35 seconds and earn a 2008 USA Olympic Trials A standard time was because I was speeding up the paces of my long run. I wouldn't just, one of my problems was from 2002 all the way to 2007 is I would do my long runs at like 6:30 to 7-minute mile pace. Yes, it makes you very strong and improves your endurance, but you have to train at a higher heart rate, at a higher percentage of your maximum heart rate for a longer period of time. So my recommendation is to do your long runs at about 85 to 86% of your maximum heart rate. For me, back in 2007, when I was training for that sub 222 marathon effort, which was my goal, was I started running at 160 beats per minute. And that was running when I was very fit. I was doing my long runs anywhere from 520s to 550s pace at altitude, running at a heart rate of 160 beats per minute. So I don't want you to do these types of harder pace long runs early on. You have to build that foundation first. You have to build your fitness first. So be patient with yourself, but as you as you build that foundation and you start getting stronger, start running, do a long run one weekend running. Do like say it's like an 18-mile run. Do the first 2 miles like a 2-mile warm-up, and then do 14 miles at 160 heart rate with a 2-mile jog cool down. Other examples of some of the long runs I would do would be like a 20-miler where I would do 5 miles easy. I would do 4 miles at 160, drop 1 mile in under a sub 5-minute mile, then go back to 160 for 4 miles, then go to then run 4 miles easy at 130 to 150 beats per minute. So you want to change up the varied pace of your long runs. Don't just make it steady, nice and easy every single weekend. That being said, I want you to run one harder long run, followed the next weekend by a very relaxed, easy long run, running between 130 and 150 beats per minute if you're wearing a heart rate monitor. The next tip I want you to research, if you want to be ahead of your competition, if you want to be highly prepared for the Boston 2020 Marathon or any middle distance or long distance event, I want you starting today, to start researching what glutathione is. In the past 28 years, I've run into no athlete, regardless if they were a beginner or elite level, who understood or knew anything about glutathione. It's your body's master antioxidant. Every cell of the human body produces it for oxygen transport throughout the body. If you run low on glutathione or you run low on iron or ferritin, you will not perform at the level that you're seeking to race at. It doesn't matter how much motivation you have or what workouts you're doing. If your body is running low on a nutrient, on an antioxidant, or on a mineral, you will run piss poor. So the best way to find out if you are running low is to get a blood test done. If you're feeling extremely fatigued, the best recommendation, best advice I could share with you as you lead into the Boston 2020 Marathon or any other event. The company that I've been with since 2013, all of their products, sort of knowing there's no performance enhancing drugs in these particular supplements. That's very critical. I don't believe in performance enhancing drugs. I don't believe in performance enhancing shoes. I believe in hard work, smart training, and mental training, and making sure that you're visualizing success, seeing what you want to do out on the race course in training first, making those mistakes in training first, so you don't have to get into the race and to make the mistakes in the race where you don't want to have that happen. So definitely glutathione, research glutathione. I'll leave a link here on this video just as a reminder. Click on the descriptions in the description too, the links in there as well. So some of those will definitely assist you in learning what that is and why having high healthy levels of glutathione will make you very, very strong and will set you up for success as you lead into the Boston 2020 Marathon and into your future races. It's very, very important because I guarantee your competition knows hardly anything about it. The next tip I want to share with you is just to train for 16 weeks. A 4-month block of training is sufficient time for you to set yourself up for success. You don't want to train for a marathon in 4 weeks or 8 weeks. Can you do it? Yes, you can. But a 4-month block, 16 weeks, is sufficient time for you to get to the Boston Marathon in great shape and well prepared. So definitely 16 weeks. I would focus on the longer you can train out, even up to 20 weeks at the longest. Spend 4 weeks of running easy base mileage, lay that foundation, and then start training into your 16-week block of training. Like I said, I have training programs on RunDreamAchieve.com. Click on training programs and courses, and I'll leave a link here on this video too, so you can see that. Definitely click on those links. Click on the resources that are below this video in the description. And again, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, click on subscribe, click on the bell icon, give me a like, and if I'm not covering something or you have another question regarding the Boston 2020 Marathon or any other particular race that you're training for this year, definitely leave me a comment and let me know what question you have, and I'll either create a video or I'll answer your question for you. The next tip I want to share is to do a 10-day taper. I've always felt that starting to drop your training 3 weeks out leading into your big race will leave you lethargic and feeling tired and feeling fatigued. A 10-day taper, every time I've done it, I've always set a personal best. So a 10-day taper, I'm telling you, if you have not tried that yet, I highly recommend as you lead into the Boston 2020 Marathon, do a 10-day taper. Don't do a 3-week. Start dropping your volume and your intensity 10 days out. Do a 5K or a 3-mile effort at your goal race pace for the marathon 4 days out from the Boston 2020 Marathon. It's just one last reminder of reminding your legs of what you're wanting them to do in the marathon. It'll elevate your heart rate, give you that one last physiological boost as you lead into Boston. And I guarantee you, with that 10-day taper, you are going to set a new personal best in Boston. I look forward to hearing from you, and definitely let me know how your performance went in the Boston Marathon by listening to this advice, because it's February right now, and if you start researching about glutathione, you start getting your levels very healthy, I guarantee you're going to set a new personal best, and I look forward to hearing it. And the last tip is, like we've talked about, is I have training programs and courses, running courses that are specifically built for athletes such as yourself that are trying to set a new personal best, that are aiming for a new strategy in 2020 in the Boston Marathon or into any other race leading into 2020 as we get further in. So I want to encourage you to stop by RunDreamAchieve.com and check out the training programs that I have, and also the running courses that I have prepared for marathon specialists such as yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll talk to you in the next video.